think that what makes me be a good CEO in this business is that I just speak from my heart. It's something that I've been dealing with since I was a kid, basically. So I'm building something that I really understand and can talk to a customer on the same level. And I think that this is the most important thing.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started.
20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today we're talking to Sagi from Frontegg, a company that I'm very proud to be a small angel investor in, but a very cool company that is looking at user management and sort of the standardization of software and how businesses are leveraging Frontegg to increase their ability to meet standards around the world. Meet Sagi Rodin, the CEO and co-founder of Frontegg. Over the last 15 years, Sagi has held senior product and software development positions, leading engineering and product teams, and engaged with ad hoc projects of building customer-facing software applications, transforming concepts into viable products. Previously at Checkpoint, now at Frontegg, meet Sagi. First of all, congratulations on the recent incredible announcements. I know it's been a few months since your Series B has closed, but congratulations on the recent $40 million raise from some fantastic partners like Stripe. I am very fortunate to be a very small part of the journey as an angel investor, but really with the platform that you're building here is phenomenal. And what I love as an engineer myself, as a person who builds products that hopefully people love, I understand the problem that you're solving, user management, and the fact that the different standards that the world is creating for how companies are allowing users to create this autonomous or the personal autonomy of user management software. So really a fantastic product, Sagi. Tell me a little bit about what Frontegg is, and then I want to go back into who you are and how that whole thing ties together.
Awesome. Thanks for asking. So, thanks for the warm words. I think that it's been an exciting journey so far, and definitely, we're growing and seeing a lot of traction and interest in our product. So Frontegg, in essence, is a user management platform. We're enabling SaaS companies to go to market much faster with a product that meets the standard of modern SaaS applications. Most of our customers would be B2B SaaS companies at different stages. So it starts with, small companies and rising, and we have unicorns and companies that already been acquired and Fortune 100. So, the spectrum is quite wide. But we're aiming for B2B companies that want to bring a great experience for their users. And we're helping them to achieve that by providing product capabilities that they can customize and integrate within their app, starting from the most basic stuff of authentication, login, sign up experience, up to the most advanced self-service management capabilities that they integrate within their products. So that's I think it sums up a bit about us.
So take me back a little bit to something that I read on the TechCrunch article. That first of all, one of the most awesome things, I believe it was a partner at Stripe who said, what blew us away about Frontegg was how much their customers love the product, and then it goes on to talking a little bit about market expectations and standards. So talk to me a little bit about the standard of what customers and companies are expecting these days. And because I think that's a really interesting key point here, is that you're not just building a product that is interesting, you're actually solving a pain that is emerging due to a new standard that sort of people are expecting off the bat. And yet, there's a gap that you found here.
Yeah, definitely. So, I've been developing software and mainly focused on customer-facing software since I was quite young, since the age of 16. And, before it was called SaaS, before it was called PLG or whatever. And we were focused on creating just great experience when I worked in small companies and even in a large enterprise before starting Frontegg. And I think that what happened in the last 10 years is that you could see kind of a movement from focusing on providing great experience for consumer applications where, it's not a secret. Like 10 years ago, we would hear about the great experience that Facebook provides or, similar apps. But, when I kind of pitched the idea of providing great user experience in B2B applications, people looked at me like 5 years ago. What? But it doesn't matter. Like you need to bring great salespeople, right? And they would do the rest. You don't even have to have the features, right? You just promise them, and that's it. So and I think that what changed in the last 5 years is that today the buyers of those software they would appreciate and they expect a certain level of product experience, of onboarding experience. They want to share their experience with other members within their organization, and kind of you see that the borders between a great consumer experience and organization experience that kind of was almost erased. And today you start as a user, and then you just in a second you become a business that buys software, right? From the moment that I invited the first colleague into the account. So all of those experience became really, really important. And the thing is that for great companies to be able to provide, both things, both the core of their product, which, just as it was important 10 years ago, it is still the main thing, and still invest time, effort into those platform experiences is something that, is very challenging, especially when you're a young team. But think of it, when you're in growth, you would think, wow, it's not it's not a challenge, right? I'm in growth stage. But no, when you're in growth stage, you're expected to provide those experiences faster and the core experiences even faster. So you're kind of always in this race of what am I doing here? And Frontegg, if you think of it, in an essence, we're actually solving that challenge and that paradox. So this SaaS paradox of what do? Do I invest in the core or do I invest in those platform experiences? Which, in the last 2 years, we see that both of them are super, super important.
How do you find people make the differentiation or distinction between something that they need to build in-house and develop themselves versus leverage on a standard that Frontegg provides? So how, I guess if I look, many years ago, authentication and login was something that companies would prefer to do on their own for a variety of reasons. And today it's almost become a no-brainer that nobody manages their own user authentication. How do you, as sort of the leader here, how do you figure out what things are doing sort of this shift movement where they're turning from sort of a proprietary technology that companies enjoy to now a commodity or a standard that Frontegg will provide to its customers?
Yeah, so let's put it like that. Nobody ever came to their boss like a developer and came to their team leader and said, "Listen, I want to develop user management, like the next amazing login experience." And I think that at the end of the day, it comes because of several reasons. First of all, developers want to do the cool stuff.
Sure.
But the second thing is that, there's a lot of responsibility here. So the one thing that I mentioned earlier, and that's, providing a great experience in that part of the product as well. Usually the company or the developer, or even the product manager, they would not have the knowledge on how to provide a great experience of inviting new users, of managing their permissions, of audit logs, of managing the security policies within your account, right? Subscription. So that's one thing. The second thing is that there's a lot of responsibility here because we're always dealing with the most sensitive assets of our customers. That would be their usernames, their emails, all of the information. We are handling the audit logs for some of our customers. That means that, it's basically anything that goes on within the product. So, we're taking into account those, the sensitivity and the fact that there's a product behind it makes it really hard for those developers or product teams to develop it in-house and provide a great experience for their customers.
Incredible. Take me a few years down the line. Vision question. In a world where Frontegg delivers on its milestones, grows to where you want it to grow, what changes? How are things different in the world?
I think that a lot of the experiences that 10 years ago, as you mentioned, like authentication, were I would just develop it in-house. People understand that there's a standard behind it now and that there's somebody there that can do it better. And that's what my customers deserve, the best. And I think that more and more experiences like that are becoming standardized. So when we think about the developer, today they deal with very tough things to handle, right? With scale, with machine learning, with a lot of smart stuff that they need to develop. And they will find that a lot of those platform capabilities could be provided by people that, do that all day. So we believe that more of those experiences will be standardized. And if today we think about low code or no code as something that competes with developers, I think that a few years, and it will take 5-10 years down the line, developers will embrace those platforms to help them focus on what they do best and on the more challenging and interesting problems to solve. And this is where Frontegg, even today, will lay the foundation to provide those experiences. But as we grow and as the market evolves, we'll provide more and more of those experiences up to a point where you can basically develop the best application out there just in a few lines of code and from day one provide the best experiences. And that's enabling innovation. At the end of the day, that's what we do.
I love it. Enabling innovation. I love the sort of the butterfly effect and how you're taking this from a very sort of Maslow pyramid type of idea. If you're starting, if you're able to solve sort of these fundamental building blocks or the bottom layers, that's when companies, can reach that self-actualization, sort of a bucket, which is fantastic. But yeah. Sagi, take me back a little bit to your own journey, your own, entrepreneurial journey. You mentioned that you've been, you're an engineer at heart. How does this play into Sagi's story here?
Yeah, so it's simple. As I was saying, I started to develop when I was about 15-year-old. I fell in love with web development because it touched the end user immediately. It wasn't only about creating the cool APIs that run fast. It was about creating experiences. But I also remember that, as a developer, almost any developer, I would suffer from what we call over-genericization syndrome, right? So we do everything very generic. And they would ask me, why do you do that? You need to, make everything stupid simple.
Sure.
But I think that I always wanted things to scale, right? I always wanted them to be secure and robust from the get-go. But when you build a product, sometimes that's not appreciated, right? You just need to focus on what the customer asked for. So I think in a way, this was kind of fulfillment for me, fulfilling the urge of building developer infrastructure, right? So because when we build something like that, everything has to be very robust, very scalable, secure from the get-go. So for me, developing developer infrastructure product is a way to achieve that.
Incredible. And if you're looking at sort of those early days, the founding of Frontegg, was it always sort of this clear vision? Was it always this really fundamental understanding of how the market is shifting and how organizations are shifting from sort of from the infrastructure layer to innovation for you, sort of the underlying premise of Frontegg? Was this from the get-go?
So we had a theory like any entrepreneurs, right? Together with Aviad, but we never claimed that we know the best, or so we went and asked. So we asked other entrepreneurs what was their experience in building their products. And the interesting thing is that they all replied with the same answer. So we always knew how to make our own core innovation. That's where we're good at. But it was hard for us when customers came and kind of asked for, to make a product out of it. And the productization part was a big challenge for everybody. And when we asked why, it was because of those things that I mentioned earlier, because of this tension between creating the core and creating the great experience that customers expect in a SaaS app. So they just answered. And then we started. And we started with mapping what are those challenges in building a platform, building a product. And we started actually to develop small parts of it, small components, and see how the market reacts to those components, and then focusing on the components basically that got the best feedback, the best traction. And I think that this was kind of the strategy. Some would say that it's an anti-startup strategy, but I think that that's the only way when you have a very broad vision to kind of start broad and then focus, and then from that point you can actually extend it. And for us, it works. So, I think I would definitely recommend an approach like that for other entrepreneurs when it's applicable, obviously.
And so I think you're working today with more than 150 different B2B customers. And so obviously now, I guess you don't get to write much code these days. How was that shift from sort of engineer programmer to strategist, leader, not just an internal leader, but an external leader as well? How did that shift play out for you?
In my previous organization in Checkpoint, I managed a team of 60, 70 developers, product people, QA, support, and it was great. And they asked me, okay, what do you want to do next? You want to be a CTO? You want to be a CEO? And I said, it really depends on what's the product, right? So
interesting.
I think that, going to a cyber industry, for example, I wouldn't be able to be a CEO there. I can probably be a CTO in such a company, or a VP of engineering, and something around that. But I think that what makes me be a good CEO in this business is that I just speak from my heart. It's something that I've been dealing with since I was a kid, basically. So I'm building something that I really understand and can talk to a customer on the same level. And I think that this is the most important thing. At the end of the day, I could probably pull off being a CTO in another company, but now I have Aviad here, which is great, and I can never be as good as him in this business.
I love. And how many people are you now at Frontegg?
So we are more than 50 people right now, and growing.
So not far from the size of team that you managed at Checkpoint. So obviously, the trivial question to be asked is, what's different? You were managing 60, 70 people. It sounded like you were managing multidisciplinary verticals, and same goes now. How is it different that this is your startup? And I'm sure that many people who manage quite a few teams in different companies, they're asking themselves, okay, I wonder how it would be if I were to start a company and be in that same position.
Yeah, so I think that Checkpoint was a great school, and it really enables people to innovate. You can just look at how many great entrepreneurs came from this company. So you have a lot of freedom to create. The difference is you have basically almost no one to rely on. So at the end of the day, you're calling the shots, and that's the different thing. You can consult with people, right? But at the end of the day, you need to make the decisions. That's I think, a big leap. Obviously, dealing with customers all the time, dealing with investors, I think that you wouldn't probably do it at a bigger company or something that is not yours. So that's a big change, and I think that it's a great one for me. It's like
I love
moving
it.
away from your comfort zone and dealing with exciting stuff.
So last question before I let you go back to running a crazy company. What do you love most about what you do? The thing you love absolutely most, the thing you wake up for, what would it be?
So I'll give you an example.
Please.
This weekend, a CEO of a great Valley-based company just approached me on LinkedIn out of nowhere and said, "Congrats on the funding. I love the product that you're building." And we started to chat. And he said, we signed up and invited 3 more members immediately into the account. It was an engineering guy and the product guy. And, it's a company of, I think, around 40 employees. And he said, it just ticked every box that we needed. And we already completed the first integration. And to hear that from somebody that understands product and hear that we've been able, even in a few days, to accelerate a process for him, and now we can innovate faster through our product, that's just amazing. So I think that at the end of the day, we're doing that for our customers. We're enabling
That's awesome.
the acceleration of innovation for them. So when you hear that you succeed in that, there's no feeling that's better than that.
Phenomenal. Sagi, thank you very, very much. Toda rabba. Best of luck with Frontegg. Obviously, I'm biased, but I can definitely say it's an inspiring journey, and I think that those moments where somebody who understands what's happening, understands product, understands consumers, comes and says, "Listen, we genuinely love your product." I think that's really what every entrepreneur hopes and aims for. So again, best of luck with Frontegg, and thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Michael.